Hoy, chummers! Just wanted to take a moment and let you know about our Patreon. While we release episodes of Shadowrunnin on Empty every single week, we actually have a backlog of about 4 episodes at any given time, just to give us a little cushion in case we can't record on our schedule for whatever reason. You know, like holidays or bug spirits. If you're interested in getting access to the episodes early, as well as a bunch of other benefits like artwork for the show, news on changes or rollouts, and sneak peeks at other things coming up, 5 new yen a month over on patreon.com/critical_hits gets you full access to all of the bells and whistles. You can even get a shout out for your support at the end of every single episode of Sinless as well. So if you enjoy the podcast and you'd like to support our work as well as get tons of bonus perks, that's the best way to do it. Thanks for your time, and let's get back to the show.
Hey chummers, So Easy Mode here. I've been a GM of various games for the past 25 years. I'll be the host of the podcast, bringing some much needed information about the shadows.
Hey, I'm Austin. I play Kaze in the Sinless game, and I am excited to learn more about the lore.
Hello everybody, I'm Tyler, aka Captain Cozy. I play Zero on the Shadowrun actual play series, Sinless. It's time to get our lore going.
Welcome back, chummers, to another installment of Shadowrunning on Empty, where we fill your brain with Shadowrun lore. And today's topic will be magic.
Wow, sparkle, sparkle. Edit and post, sparkle, sparkle.
Fireworks, explosions.
Flick of the wrist.
And this is definitely one of the things that I feel sets this particular dystopian cyberpunk setting above the rest.
Because it's magic, but in the future?
Well, you've got magic.
Yes.
Other dystopian cyberpunks, you just got the cool tech.
Oh, okay, so that's some normie cyberpunk.
I was gonna say because it's magic with trench coats, but yeah, that's fair.
I also
That's a valid reason.
like that.
Magic and trench coats.
Yes.
I mean, you walk up to a guy on the side of the street and you say, "Hey, show me a magic trick," when he's in a trench coat. You're not gonna like what you see.
You know,
Magic finger guns. Pew pew.
Ooh, okay, those seem pretty. Wait. I'm sorry. I think you just mean finger guns because we all know, listeners, that magic can be done through finger guns, and I don't care what a maging says. He's lying. All combat mage is accurate. And finger gun mages, I stand with you. Anyway.
I mean, I feel like anybody who's seen The Losers know how powerful finger guns can be.
Oh, what a reference. What a reference. Thank you, Magical Finger Guns, where they did weird stuff. Crazy stuff.
You see,
I just like to take any opportunity I can to talk about The Losers. Such a good movie.
I'm too hip with the millennials and the Zoomers to know what you're referencing, and I'm definitely not just uncultured.
One of Chris Evans' many forays into playing a comic book character.
Yes.
Whoa.
You should definitely look it up if you get the chance.
It's very fun. Yeah.
It is very fun.
It is very also specifically a movie that you would like.
Wow, that's oddly
what are we
specific.
Talking about here?
The Losers.
No, he knows what I'm into.
Yeah, it is about a group of mercenaries who are betrayed, who then need to take revenge on the people that betrayed them. Yeah,
God.
It's got Tyler written all over it.
So you're telling me my Zero backstory fuel.
That you just ripped off a indie comic book from the Vertigo publishing branch of DC from the early 2000s. Yep, that's exactly what I'm talking
Great minds think alike, great minds plagiarize. Am I right?
Woo!
Woo.
Sorry. I should have been more specific earlier when I said I should have said People's Sexiest Man of the Year, Chris Evans.
Wow.
Yes.
Comic
wow.
book,
officially.
Roles.
Is it Times Magazine? Or?
Very topical.
It's People, I think.
People.
Yeah,
Okay.
People.
Okay.
Yeah, it's People. We're being very topical.
We are human people, and human people don't normally use magic except in Shadowrun. 7 degrees of Shadowrun, let's go.
Wow, we're bringing it all back. Amazing.
More like maging. God damn it, Tyler. Quit trying to step on my joke. So yes, magic in the sixth world.
Magic in the sixth world. How do you know if you've got it? Where does it start? Let's go there. It all starts, of course, in the school system.
What?
Yep.
That's. I genuinely didn't think that's how you were going to start that sentence.
I know it definitely completely threw you off. They actually have in the sixth world standardized testing for magical aptitude.
Now, is that a skills-based thing, or is that like you're going to have to do like fill in bubbles?
Yeah, it's a scantron.
A magic scantron.
It's a magic scantron.
it's a scantron on a greater badger or whatever.
A celestial ferret.
The sentry ferret.
Please make sure that you only fill out your magical scantron with a number 2 wand. That is, a number 2 wand will only be accepted.
Invisible ink, I can see it. Don't think I'm not aware. Oh my god, wait. Okay, so if they're standardized, are you meaning to tell me that there's magic universities?
Yes, in the sixth world, of course there are magic universities.
I can be a wizard too, Harry?
Well, only if you have magical power. Otherwise, no.
When we were talking about the history of the sixth world, we had that discussion about the university that had to get rid of the elemental. Wasn't it elemental?
Yeah, the fire elemental.
Yeah, the fire elemental.
You had to drop fire conjuring due to
fire
insurance
conjuring
costs.
due to insurance problems. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, we did talk about that. What a wild world of Shadowrun.
Speaking of how shitty insurance is, anyway, that was from the conversation. Sorry.
Even insider baseball. Let's go.
So some school systems begin testing as early as 3rd grade, while others will wait until 5th grade to see if your child displays any magical aptitude. I assume this is a lot like the presidential challenge tests, run a mile.
The fitness exam?
Yeah, the fitness exam.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. I was going to say, is 5th grade like the standard accepted time for like magical puberty? Is that when it happens?
Well, it's funny that you mention it that way. Most magical ability starts to manifest around puberty. So once they get into high school, magical aptitude testing is mandatory your freshman year.
Oh, cool.
You heard it here first. Some of us are just magic late bloomers.
Hey, you never know.
Yep. That's fair.
I'd rather the opportunity be all the way till high school. Like, oh, I didn't get it this year. Well, maybe next year.
Yeah, it's like a growth spurt, Yeah. It's like you're a little tiny no magic boy, and then next year you're the best magic boy or girl, or whatever you prefer.
Magic person, if you will.
Yes, magically inclined. Okay, yes. So magic schools.
Yes, there are schools, universities that will teach magic, and you can get a degree from college in thaumaturgy,
which is
the study of magic and magical design.
And there you go. That was the first bit of a magic explanation already.
Noted universities are going to be across the pond, where you have both Oxford and the University of Oslo.
Oxford makes sense. I feel like there had to be at least one like prestigious English magical school.
Of course, right?
Yeah, of course.
Proper etiquette and all, even including into the magic realm.
Ooh.
Do they have like any magical themed like school mascots? Like, did Oxford rebrand to like the Oxford Lady in the Lakes or anything cool like that? Or
it does not actually say whether there were rebrandings for mascots due to the awakening of magic. I would have to think that out there are some that did change, especially coming off of magical critters. Am I right?
Let's do it right now. So we've got Oxford, we've got MIT, and we've got Oslo, the 3 main big schools. What are the new mascots for them? Tyler, you're first.
The Century Ferrets.
For which one?
For any university or top ones?
No, for those 3. So we've got we've got MIT, Oxford, and Oslo.
Okay. Okay, for MIT, I want to say was it the Nova Possum?
The Nova Possum.
The MIT Nova Possum, because it just gives this explosive vibe to it that I can dig.
That corrosive saliva.
Yeah, and their mascot has like fake ooze. I think I'm on track there. Oxford would be oh my god. I cannot believe you're testing my knowledge of that episode right now. My brain is too smooth.
It could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to just be magical creatures. Like just any magic related thing. What would you give it?
The Oxford Leviathans.
Okay.
Oh.
Because they're on an island.
And then last one.
Oslo.
The Oslo.
Oslo. Oh no. I was gonna say the Oslo bug spirits, but that's very distasteful.
Ooh, that's not a good look. That's not a good look.
Also, Tyler, just in case you're wondering, Oslo is the capital of Norway. So if you want to use that,
okay, yes, thank you. Okay, cool. Oh shit. The Oslo Greater Bear.
The Oslo Greater Bear.
Awakened Bear. Sorry,
they're just bears with thumbs.
They can open doors.
No. The Oslo Bandits.
The Oslo
Bandit is my favorite.
All right, so easy. What do you got?
So I'm gonna go with MIT as the Century Ferret.
Okay.
Okay.
Oxford. We're going unicorns, boys.
That's a good call.
Oh, nice.
That's a good call.
Mostly because of our talk during
because their rivals are the Irish tier leprechauns, and as we all know, unicorns eat exclusively leprechauns. So
Leprechaun
in order to keep that feud going.
For more information, check out last episode.
Is it? Why can I? Is it Caer Minogue? Is that what it's called? Why can I never remember the name of it? The
Tir Minogue.
Tir Minogue. Yes, the Tir Minogue leprechauns.
And Oslo, we're gonna reach back to Norse mythology, and I'm gonna say the Oslo Fenrisian wolves.
Ooh, very nice.
What the hell did you just call me? And what is that?
Well, in big aside here and kind of tangent, Norse mythology, Fenrir is a giant wolf that comes at the end of Ragnarok, and
that's right.
Consumes the sun.
He consumes the sun. It sets the world into darkness. But also in the final battle, he devours Odin as Odin pushes his spear up through his head. So total awesomeness.
Right.
I dig it.
So I mean, this is appropriate for our group, right? We have some Norse stuff going on.
Also,
we do.
True.
That's also true.
This is also important for our history, maybe.
Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Okay.
I would go with the MIT homunculi because it is a combination of technology and science. I would go with the Oxford. Still sticking with Oxford Lady in the Lakes, just because I think that would just be fun. I think that would just be cool, and I really like Arthurian legends, so
that's fair.
That goes. Oslo.
That's the difficult one.
It's the hardest one, I agree.
I don't know why, but I think of walruses.
Walrus.
I think of like the Tuskar from WoW, like they're like walrus people in Eskimo hoodies.
Hey, at least you went there and you didn't go narwhals.
I mean, narwhals. I would not mess with a narwhal.
What was didn't we talk about wasn't there some kind of magical critter that was like a super moose? Was that a thing? Did we talk about a super moose?
Super moose?
Yeah, it was like a moose or a deer or something.
Yeah, wasn't there? It had like
creature.
It had larger antlers than normal or something like that. I'm trying to remember.
Oh boy.
Let's stop everything right now and listen to the Magical Critters podcast.
Everybody go back and call us out on this.
Also, is it go back or go forward? I don't know how these episodes are coming out.
You know what? You just re-listen and you'll be able to call us out on it.
Time isn't real anyway, so just
time is a construct.
Forward.
You've already heard every episode of this podcast. Thank you for re-listening to it. We appreciate
it. It's re-listens like you that keep us going.
Boom. You know what? It's fine. Irrelevant. I'm just gonna go. We're gonna go with the Oslo chimeras because I like chimeras, and
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
the national symbol of Norway is a lion. So
I'm also surprised we didn't go for any dragons. I didn't hear a single dragon.
dragons are overrated. Yeah.
Whoa, dude.
Except for one. Except
Okay,
for
there
one.
we go. Okay. I was like, wow, dude, what a heel turn.
Which one?
You already know.
No.
Daddy D Dunkleson.
I just love to bring it out
dragon.
every time. That's why.
Big Daddy D is the only good dragon. The rest of them are overrated.
Wow.
Wow.
Lofweir and the Leviathan would like a word with you.
I would also like a word.
Leviathan can't have a word with me. I never go in the ocean. So,
well, you know, if I were to learn a spell, it would be how to throw Austin into the ocean, lovingly and gently. So tell us more about the magics.
So now we've got our schooling out of the way and how we test, well, how we get the magic aptitude and prove that you have it. Now we break it down into the different categories. If you've got magical power, you're going to fall into one of three categories. You're either going to be a traditional mage, which all your magic derives from spell formula and book learning and research, or you'll be a shaman, and then your magic comes from the natural world around you. You have spirits. You have a totem spirit that helps guide you and teach you how to harness mana and craft spells. And then your next option that you fall into is an adept. And traditionally, adepts, the magical power wells up in them physically, and that manifests through great feats, like being able to run across a thin wire, or run up a wall, or fall a great distance and not suffer any damage. Being able to encase your fists with magical fire. Things like that.
Oh, that's for which one?
For adepts.
For adepts. Okay. Gotcha.
And then things can be broken down even more from there into specific subcategories as well. Some of these are more in reference to your belief system. For example, if you you're technically a shaman, but you study the ways of voodoo.
And you do.
Better than you do. And that grants you to a different type of mentor or totem spirit. Instead of calling it a totem spirit, if you're a practitioner of voodoo, you are following a Loa.
Oh, okay. That's pretty freaking cool. Oh, and so that's a way of them like kind of taking existing in our real world like belief systems and how it would manifest in magic.
Yes, because you also have the druid tradition where they focus a little bit more on the natural world.
And these are all taught in school?
Well, some of them are taught in school and some of them are actual belief systems.
Oh, so you don't always have to have a degree to do magic.
Right.
Yeah.
You also have the Shinto mages, which is the official religion of Japan.
So wait, if there's degrees for magic, if you don't have a degree in magic, but you're magically adept, and every time that you like use magic, then is it technically illegal?
Yeah,
no.
Do you need a license?
Yeah, is there like licensing?
Is there a license to magic?
Yeah.
There is not a license to magic because that would infringe upon your natural abilities. That would be like saying, do I need to have a license to shot put or a license to throw javelin?
Okay.
Everybody should have a license to shot put, to be fair, but
because it's a natural thing that
that
happens, it's not really a way to license it.
Right. It's harder to be like, you can't do the thing that you naturally do and like have it be punishable. Like, yeah, that's not a good look.
Right. Now with the aptitude testing, who's to say that corporations don't take that information and hold on to it and then try to headhunt you later.
Huh.
This is a dystopian world we're talking about here, so
Yeah, no, that does make sense.
There's
Yeah,
also
no, that checks out.
magic debt collectors.
magic debt collectors?
Yeah, like they come, like you were saying, you have to like. Wait, did you say you have to pay something? Like,
No.
oh,
No, he's just saying that like corporations will have lists of all of the people that are magically adept, and then they could like try to
Oh.
headhunt you or like.
Yes.
You know,
oh,
like-
I thought it was like magical employees, and they would like be hunted down by magic security guards with magic security guns. This is where my brain went.
You just threw magic in front of everything. It's like,
Yes,
this is
I mean,
how it works.
how else are you gonna know it's magic?
Well, you know what?
Huh?
There you go. You got me there.
Boom. Hell yeah. Please continue. My apologies.
No problem. So, of course, there are many different ways to view magic and many different subcategories as well, like we were saying. You even have a thought that is connected to the Christian religion as well.
Okay, how so?
They're called the Christian Theurgy. And
That's
they're
the magic religion
yes, this is
or magic Christianity.
this is magic users in the Christian faith.
Interesting.
So they are organized as their particular branch of Christianity is members of the clergy, such as the mages in the Order of Saint Sylvester, have stricter controls on their behavior and use of magic. And mages that belong to the Order of Saint Sylvester are actually licensed by the church exorcists.
That's like a magic cop, but for Jesus.
Yeah, against Satan. Yeah, you have to be a magic cop to fight Satan. Everybody knows that.
We have to think of the other implications when magic came back of how it impacted religion as well.
It explained or like ruined certain things, maybe miracles. Oh, I think I answered my own question there.
I mean, there were people that pointed at that in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But later on, the Catholic Church does come to accept people of magic, because remember, originally in their faith, anybody that practiced magic was supposed to be from the devil.
Yep.
Well, not anymore.
They're all set by the devil, unless.
Well, as magic became more prevalent, they had to take a different stance on it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Or else, they're going to lose a bunch of members, obviously.
Yeah, that seems not as good.
But it's interesting the way that some of those faiths changed on their views from magic coming back into the world.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you look at Christianity, you see it completely change from going one way to, well, this is now accepted because reasons.
because of reasons.
Because it is real.
Gotcha. We can actually prove it. Don't want to get into that conversation too much, but like I see what you're saying.
Yes. Well, it was all thanks to the Pope at that time in the Sixth World actually coming out and saying people are the ones that are using these tools of magic. And so we know through their teachings and whatever that people can be, good or evil. They're not inherently evil just because they have these abilities.
Wow, there's a lot of moral complexities that I was not ready for.
There are quite a few moral complexities. Well, one of the other things that comes into question with magic too is crime. How do you handle someone that can light you on fire with a thought?
Oh, that doesn't seem as good. That's when you need a license to magic.
Well, again, they can't license you to magic, so instead they created tools to be able to handle magicians and people that are practitioners of magic. You have these things called mage masks.
Oh, I have had that in my inventory since the beginning of this campaign and have not used it once.
Well, would you like to hear how it's used?
Boy, howdy. I would love a go-to instruction manual for this.
So a mage mask is essentially a hood that fits snugly over the individual's head. There is a gag inside the mask that goes in their mouth to prevent them from speaking. Then there are 2 large speakers on either side of the mask that go over their ears that project continuous white noise. So they can't hear anything, and the mask itself is thick enough that they can't see through it. So they're gagged, blind, and deaf.
Which are all 3 relevant things to magic.
It is important because spells require line of sight to be able to be effective.
Oh.
They have to see and able to cast what they need to. And so by denying them these senses, you're basically making it impossible for them to practice their art at all. The super downside is that if you get taken to prison and you're awakened, you will spend most of the time in the cell with a mage mask on.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah, if you end up being a repeat offender, there is an option for forced burnout.
Okay.
Where the magician will be given a combination of drugs and surgery that will completely burn out their magical power. They will no longer be able to cast spells.
That is savage.
Yeah, it's very terrible.
I knew that the Shadowrun was dystopian, but that is dark.
Yeah, some people have said the death penalty is more humane.
I can see that now. Sheesh.
To try and combat this as well, there was a special prison that was built in the Sioux Nation called Blackstone Prison.
Cool name.
Blackstone Prison is built on top of a powerful mana warp.
A what now?
A mana warp.
Oh, right. I've definitely heard of those. But just for the people at home who haven't.
Of course. A mana warp is a type of mana anomaly that has been described as a great flaring burst of mana where it flares and behaves erratically or chaotically.
So if you cast magic in it?
It's difficult. It's hard to harness the mana. The mana and mana warps are have a very high density. The astral space around them is described as polluted or contaminated.
Whoa.
Dual-natured or astrally perceiving entities that are in a mana warp tend to suffer disorientation, hallucinations, and even physical damage.
Huh. That's like some near Eldritch Horror stuff.
It is. However, mana warps are fairly rare on Earth. They're only created through acts of destruction on the land, and negative acts that happen in the area can pollute the mana, creating what's called a background count, which can then lead to a mana warp.
Negative activities like
murder,
praising the devil,
blood magic is a big one.
Blood magic,
yes, which we will talk about here a little later.
And it just creates it piles up this negative energy.
Yes, piles up this negative energy in the area and causes the mana to flow differently or erratically, and it becomes difficult to draw on that to be able to cast spells.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that makes that extremely difficult. One of the largest mana warps in existence is actually just out of the biosphere of Earth when you get to the void of space. The void of space is said to be an extremely chaotic, senseless space. If you view it in the astral, you risk going completely insane.
Because of how warped the astral is?
That's how warped the astral is in space.
Whoa.
So just flying up astrally, you're a mage, you project your astral body out, right? You fly up to the edge of the biosphere, the edge of Earth, and you look out into the infinite void. You risk madness.
Metal.
If you're unfortunate enough to actually be in space and trying to do magic, one, it's incredibly difficult because of the background count. It makes it hard to channel any kind of mana at all. And it's even worse if you were trying to enter the astral in space. You risk deadly damage every second you're in the astral space.
Wow.
Yeah. So dual-natured creatures that can see both in the astral and mundane, if they were taken into space, they would have these same experiences as disorientation, hallucination, possible physical damage, and possible loss of sanity.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. So no magic astronauts.
Yes, magic in space is not a good idea. However, there's the other side of it where they have these space stations that are set up around Earth, and you have the moon base and you have the base on Mars, right?
Right.
You can you can try and practice magic in these spaces, and because of the human life that's there, it creates a small biosphere for mana to be able to exist, but it's still incredibly difficult.
Oh.
But the boon for that is if you wanted to do some very dangerous research into magic that would go horribly awry on Earth, you could do it in space with minimal, well, not minimal, but less risk. You just risk burning out or killing the mages as opposed to whatever it is you're messing with getting loose and causing havoc.
Okay. Gotcha. Not great.
No, mana warps are terrible things, but they are extremely rare, like I said. The most thing that you'll run into on Earth are mana voids, which is areas that have high background counts where very negative emotional things have happened, like blood magic practicing, or if you were to go to any of the death camps from World War II, there would be a high background count in those areas.
Brutal.
Very. And of course, because we have the negative aspects, there's the flip side where we have the positive ones. And these areas are generally referred to as mana lines or power sites.
Mana lines or power sites?
Yes, power sites. Power sites are pretty self-explanatory. It's where there's going to be an abundance of naturally forming mana. Magic is very strong in these areas. You can draw on it and increase your power exponentially. The downside to power sites are usually most of these are in the control of dragons already.
Oh. I mean, well, they got dibs.
Do they have dibs just because they've been around or because they're so powerful?
Are you going to go up to a dragon and ask them the distinction?
No, I don't think I would.
Also, okay, so if it's like dependent on locations, right? Say there's one, I'm not going to name a specific place because I don't know geography. So
name a specific place, do it.
Okay, I was thinking of like that like geyser. Anyway, this is not going to work for my analogy, but say that the magic sites enhance magic a certain way. Does that mean that there's magic Olympics, right?
Yes.
Does that mean they have to avoid those sites so that people don't get like unfair advantages, or it like goes horribly awry or something? You know, I feel like no one's asked that question, or they did.
Usually in those positive mana sites, like I said, with the ley lines and the power sites, people want to be there because magic flows more easily.
So you're saying that the Magic Olympics would be there then?
Yeah, but what he's saying is it cheating if we have the
Yeah.
Magic Olympics where yeah, I get what,
It's like
I get what
magic
he's asking.
roids.
I
Yeah,
guess
I get what he's
it'd be like magic steroids.
Yeah.
But
But what happens if everybody's juiced, Tyler? What happens if everybody's on the same steroids?
That's what I'm wondering.
Does that make it more entertaining or less fair? Where do we draw the line?
Oh well, they've allowed cyberware into Sixth World Entertainment, so
Yeah,
Okay.
but that has to have its own division.
See, this is the kind of rabbit hole I was worried about going down, but I'm really curious now because imagine you're training, right? And I don't know. Oh my God, why do I keep naming places? You're on the remote farm in Arkansas.
I love it.
And you have dreams of going to the Magic Olympics, and you do magic shot put, right?
yeah.
You get so used to it, you go to nationals, great. You go to the Magic Olympics, it happens to be a power site. You're shot putting.
Magical shot put.
You magical shot put like a cannon, and it just blasts through the arena. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, think of the casualties, dude. Think of the people.
So is this like a cell game scenario where like we have it in the middle of nowhere and there's no actual audience?
I'm saying don't.
Except the one cameraman who's brave enough to go out there for our
long story
for our
short,
enjoyment.
I'm saying that we need to make sure not to have them at magic sites.
Or do.
Okay, but if they
and
do
sign a waiver.
It's extreme magic Olympics.
Yeah.
So good news. Power sites are pretty rare.
Uh-huh.
So you don't have the Olympics on power sites.
Boo!
Right.
Those cowards!
Those cowards!
Sorry to burst your Magic Olympics bubble.
My magic bubble.
But you are correct in that there is a Magic Olympics and a regular Olympics.
Oh,
nice.
God.
Now, what if you? Okay.
No, go ahead. No,
please
you got
ignore
something.
Me. I'm
I
gonna
want
keep asking
this.
dumb questions because I'm like, okay, what if they're magical and cybernetically enhanced? Is that
You can't. You can't.
Not at all?
No, because you can't be cyber augmented in order to be magic, right? Easy.
Having cybernetics will decrease your magical power.
It will decrease it, but that doesn't mean you won't have it.
Nobody's gonna sign a cyber. Why would you put forward as your representative for the Magic Olympics somebody who has cyber augmentation when somebody who doesn't is going to just inherently be a better candidate?
I see what you're saying, but my point is essentially like, would there be a sub-Olympics there? You know?
No, there were rules set down that if you participate in the Magical Olympics, you're using your full natural potential.
Nice.
Just like for the regular Olympics that allowed some cyberware in, depending on what it is that they're doing.
And I'm assuming mostly adepts would be at these things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the Magical Olympics that takes place is predominantly adepts.
Makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, the feats that they could do would be pretty awesome.
I am all for this. I'm pro this, whatever this is.
Pro Magic Olympics.
Yes, please.
Pro cheater Magic Olympics is what he's saying.
Okay,
and I'll have none of it. I will have none of this blasphemy
slander, sir.
in my Magical Olympics. The purity of my Magical Olympics is to remain intact. How
your magical slander, you will hear from my magical lawyer.
It will arrive by owl.
Wow.
Obviously.
The slowest form of any kind of delivery service.
That's not true. That would be arriving by turtle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awakened
but
owls.
it would at least be safer because
the slowest flying avian creature.
Yes, that's fair. I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, back to what we were originally talking about.
What the fuck were we even talking about anymore?
Like,
I don't even know.
God.
Magical
like
sites of power, right?
Yeah, we were on magic sites.
Of power. Yeah, magic
power
sites.
Okay.
He's gonna be talking to his wife. He's like, and then they went on a 35-minute rant about magic schools.
He said magical shot put. Who the fuck wants to talk about magical shot put? Yeah.
When you want to watch somebody throw a heavy ball like a cannon.
But like, I've never had that desire in my life. Am I the weird one? Is that what I'm finding out?
Clearly, you're just not into the Magical Olympics.
Yeah, man.
No, that's not true. I just only watch the Magical Winter Olympics, like with real Olympics. I want to see magical bobsled.
Magical bobsled.
So the other type of magical
curling
powers
would be amazing.
Oh
I'm sorry.
God.
I'm sorry. That was my last side. Go ahead. The other type.
Anyway, the other type of magical phenomenon that is generally positive refers to ley lines in the world, and there are 3 different kinds of ley lines. You have dragon lines, normal ley lines, and song lines.
Whoa.
Your dragon lines relate to geographic energies, including fault lines, volcanic hotspots, rivers, and lakes. Generally, features that connect to fire or water are going to host dragon lines. The flow of dragon lines influences the health of plants and animals, and strong dragon lines can even clean polluted rivers.
Oh.
Yay.
Yeah. Clean the oil off those ducks.
Right? And because they're generally naturally occurring, they are the most prevalent type of ley line.
Oh, that's good.
It's nice.
The earth is healing.
Well, we hope. We've already polluted it enough in the sixth world. Ugh, it gets really bad with some of
Yes, only
accidents.
in the sixth
Only
world
in the
is
sixth
this
world.
an occurrence.
Yes,
Mhm.
we are not drawing correlations to the natural things that have happened. Don't swim in the Gulf.
Now, does that count as a magical subliminal message?
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry. This is the track I'm on, and I don't know how to derail.
You really cannot. So the next type of ley line is the regular ley lines. These tend to be archaic tracks connecting man-made or non-human constructions.
Okay.
These mana lines cut more direct paths across the landscape than dragon lines do, and they often overlay trade routes. These flow of ley lines are influenced by civilization and meta-humanity. These lines are where people try to employ the feng shui. That is something that the Wujing Corporation gets heavily into. They love these type of ley lines.
Because it makes for like higher fashion buildings or something.
Well, the flow of magic is what they're after. These mana lines are also fought over by corporations trying to attune to the line toward their needs and give them an advantage over the competition. Traveling along a line that helps you move faster while slowing anyone else is an undisputed benefit. So that's one of the reasons why Wujing is after these type of ley lines.
Would you make a ley line like trolley car?
I suppose. I mean, you have to think since Wujing is based out of China, and a lot of the shipping lanes were going in and out of there during the fifth world. So as the sixth world and magic comes back, there are these established routes. And so Wujing is definitely going after them because being able to ship faster across the Pacific, kind of a boon.
Sounds pretty good.
And finally, the last type of ley line you have are the song lines. And these mana lines are artificial, where someone has restricted or forced mana into a particular path.
Interesting. So then if that's a possibility of what can be done, why don't corporations just do that rather than trying to take control of the naturally occurring ones?
It's very difficult to force song lines. You could try and force it together and then end up dissipating the magic out of it. Most of the song lines are found in the Australian continent and have traits related to both dragon and ley lines.
All those criminals forcing magic. No, just
Magic
me. All right, that's
kangaroos.
Just you.
Sorry, I got stuck thinking like magic kangaroos.
As you often do.
Oh my god, a magical physical adept kangaroo that punches people with magic punches. All right, continue.
Oh wow. One of the other reasons that you don't typically see people using song lines or trying to create them is that they tend to generate mana storms.
Ooh.
And now these are different than mana warps in a big way, actually.
Mana warps are permanent, right? Like once a mana warp has occurred, they don't go away.
Right. Mana warps are permanent. Mana storms, however, is a type of mana anomaly.
An anomaly, please.
In the form
Anomaly.
Anomaly.
In the form of a mana-induced violent and chaotic weather event. Such spontaneously discharges many spells. It is highly dangerous phenomenon that metahumans are advised to avoid at all costs.
Just metahumans?
Well, everyone. All people.
Okay.
Don't walk into a mana storm. Mana storms are dual-natured. They are visible and affect both the mundane and astral space.
That would be funny if it was just like humans are unaffected by mana storms.
Dude, that's what I was thinking.
I don't understand what everybody's complaining about today. It's beautiful outside.
Oh god! My magic house!
My magic house. Oh, is that just like a cardboard box you set up on a ley line?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. My magic insurance premium is going through the roof this year.
Oh my. Okay.
So one of the other things that's so dangerous about a mana storm is complete unpredictability. And if you were to try to summon or cast any type of magic while in a mana storm, you don't know what you're going to get. The spell could fail, the spell could go off successfully, something completely different than what you were trying to do could happen, or the spell could exponentially be pumped up by the surging mana from the storm and go completely awry. For example, you could just be trying to cast magic fingers to manipulate something, but you're in a mana storm. So instead of magic fingers, you accidentally flamethrower out of your palm.
Oops. Uh-oh.
Whoops-a-daisy.
I like to. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
No, please go on. Please.
Go ahead. No, what are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, it's like an RNG tornado.
It can be, or another example to bring it to people that play stuff like D&D, it's wild magic.
Wild
Okay.
magic, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
I was gonna say I like to hope that in the sixth world there's like a reality show version of Storm Chasers, but it's just mana storms.
Oh jeez.
And it's just like a bunch of mundanes from the cost that are just like, we got word that a mana storm just came up, we're gonna go see what we can get, and just like driving into mana storms and just the insanity.
It would be absolutely insane and crazy. Just for the sheer random predictability of things. You could enter into a mana storm and all of a sudden, instead of rain, it's raining fire spirits.
Coming this fall on the Magic Sci-Fi Network.
Yep.
What's worse is that Australia is predominantly notorious for roving mana storms.
As in, like like it's moving.
Yeah, like a tornado.
Ooh.
You're out. Think about it. You're out in the outback, just cruising along, and you accidentally hit a mana storm, and instead of a large twisting dust tornado, the large twisting dust tornado is now suddenly throwing boulders the size of your car.
That's the least thing I like.
And then you also can't run away from it because it just chases you.
Oh no.
Maliciously.
That's what I was thinking, is it's like a magical elemental.
Almost.
Oh no. Like a sentient magical elemental, which I'm not saying that's not a thing.
Well, one of the other things too is there's been other mana storms naturally occurring in the world. There's one that encompasses Tibet.
Just all of Tibet?
There's a shrouding mist almost. You can't get through, and that is considered a mana storm. There's one that is around Tir na Nog. It's a fog that causes navigation to go awry. So Tir na Nog has a natural defense in that it's shrouded in this fog mist that you can't get through unless you have permission from the Tir.
Whoa.
Otherwise, you just go in to the mist, and then a few hours later, you come out of the mist almost where you started.
Whoa, that's insane.
So that's Tir na Nog, which is Ireland, right?
Yes.
So Ireland is Barovia, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
Okay, cool.
now this only applies to creatures?
What, the mana storm?
The one around this place that you just said.
Tir na Nog?
That's everything.
It affects everything.
Okay, so I don't know why my brain's thinking about these hypotheticals, but say that the magical nuke that the mysterious powers or mysterious forces have sucked away into the sky, if it were to drop on Tir na Nog, would the fog help at all?
You know what? He's got a point.
I want to say
well, okay, but based on the way that you've explained it, if they were to launch the nuke into the magical mist surrounding Tir na Nog, wouldn't it just disappear into the mist?
That's kind of what I'm asking.
And then just reappear at the entry point, and then either continue traveling back the way it came from, or just drop and then nuke Tir na Nog?
I suppose that is a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, unless inorganic material is affected differently by the mist.
That's what I'm wondering.
What if it's a magic nuke?
Dude, I was gonna talk about that earlier when you're talking about testing stuff. Like, there's Magic Oppenheimer testing magic nukes. And
Magical Oppenheimer.
That's what I assumed. I was like, no, I'm not gonna ask that. That's ridiculous. Maybe, unless,
always unless.
So tangent.
Uh-huh.
You joke, but they really created something like that. There is a sort of magical nuke that was created. It was created by Ares, and it was built
naturally.
Of course it was.
Naturally.
It was built to take care of the bug problem in Chicago.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think we did talk about this when we talked about bug spirits, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's a nuke that's supposed to specifically target the astral, right?
Well, it's a nuke, right? But then they also filled it with this compound that is an astral bacterium.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, and it affects all astral creatures, spirits, dual-natured creatures, everything. It basically infects them with this bacterium that eats mana.
Even if it's inside you.
Well, yeah, especially if it's inside you.
How would mana be outside of you? That sounds awful.
I've been meaning to talk to my doctor about this.
Yeah, dude, please go see a magic physician. Please see a PhD certified magician in order to talk about this.
Yes,
problem.
I'll call Dr. Weird. Yes.
Yes, Dr. Weird.
Getting close. Yes. We're getting close. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So here is actually fluorescizing astral bacteria. It's genetically engineered awakened bacteria.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. You tell me there could be an awakened amoeba?
It comes in 3 strains.
Like all good things in Shadowrun, it comes in 3 strains.
Strain 1 is highly sensitive to astral forms and will die if it comes into contact with one. UV light combined with strain 1 can reveal the locations of astral forms.
Oh, weird. So you can use it with UV to see somebody who's somebody's astrally projected form?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Strain 2 is similar to strain 1. It can reveal astral forms when exposed to UV light. However, it is less sensitive to astral forms passing through it and will not die. It will, however, slow the movement of any astral form attempting to pass through it. So it's like soup. You're moving through thick soup.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then there's strain 3, which is the weaponized variant.
Which was in the super nuke.
Yes, it actively seeks out active astral forms as well as the awakened to drain them of magic.
Jesus. And then because if you're in astral form and you lose all of your mana, you just die, right?
Yes, you die.
Yeah, okay.
It can only affect those in astral space, so any mage or shaman who does not astrally project will be safe from the magic drain. However, the bacteria will linger on them, waiting for them to become astrally active.
Jesus.
If it attaches to a dual-natured being such as a ghoul, they will be slowly drained of their magic, and the drained power increases the strength and size of the cloud of strain 3.
It's literally like Magic Fallout.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh my god.
How do you think they got rid of a lot of the bug spirits from Chicago?
I'm glad that you said a lot. I'm glad you said a lot and not all, because I was going to call you on it if you said all. There's no way to get rid of all of the bug spirits.
I mean, come on. Roach bug spirits are notoriously hard to get rid of.
That's big.
We inherited that from our roaches.
I like to hope that all of the roach bug spirits just look like the roaches from Terraformers.
For
anybody out there who's familiar with that. Just imagine you're like a normal mage and you're like, man, I need to go into the astral so I can scope this out for my buddies. And as soon as you go into the astral, it's just there. It's just staring at you.
I haven't even seen this. I haven't watched this series, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And nope. Bug spirits, notoriously big nope for me. And if they look like that, well, burn it all. Set it all on fire. We gotta start over, guys.
The magic nukes were right. Damn it, the magic nukes were right.
Drop strain 3 right now. Do it.
Do it, you cowards.
Do it.
Cowards. It's for the greater good.
So of course, magic has a dark side, and that is reflected from blood magic, insect magic, toxic magic, and malevolent spirits. You get all the bad.
The dark magic.
Blood magic, obviously very self-explanatory. You're doing sacrifices. You're using the blood of the awakened to increase your magical power.
Now,
it's very bad stuff.
Because in my head, when I thought of blood magic, I was thinking like literally blood bending.
It's not literally blood bending.
Dang it! But it's like drawing blood from something.
Yeah, it's more sacrificial.
Gotcha.
You're sacrificing to use the blood to increase your magic power, or to increase the magic of the spell that you're doing, or the ritual, or to summon blood spirits, because those are nice things.
Blood elemental.
Yeah, no thank you. They look like twisted weird gargoyles, but they're made of blood.
Whoa, man. Okay.
So they're obviously metal.
Yeah.
So metal, bro.
As you could tell.
Well, I mean, aren't they literally metal if they're made out of blood? Because
it's got some iron.
The metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me push my glasses further up on my face. Hang on.
I can't. They're like way too thick.
The other type of tainted or dark magic is toxic magic. Toxic magic is generally mages have kind of gone off the deep end, and they are enhancing their magic from these highly polluted and corrupted areas. They're getting benefits from some areas that are affected by background count due to pollution.
Okay, so they're like really, really strong in like metropolitan areas, I imagine.
Anywhere that has toxic runoff, high pollution bogs, radioactive areas. Oh yeah, Chernobyl would be a big one. Yeah, toxic mages would thrive there. And most toxic mages that turn to this fall into one of two camps. They become super like eco terrorists, wanting to destroy the corporations that are causing the toxicity that is inadvertently giving them their powers, which is kind of weird. Or they're the corruptor type that is just, I must spread this corruption and pollution everywhere.
And you only have this when you're in toxic areas, or it's only made stronger by toxic areas?
It's generally made stronger by toxic areas.
But I don't need to necessarily be around it to harness it.
Right. Your spells will still be considered toxic because you've been around it for so long. It's just if you're in an area that is considered toxic, you as a toxic mage would gain benefits from that. Whereas normal mages will suffer disadvantages.
I'm all for it.
So if there was like a toxic mage that also was a decker and they were just permanently jacked into 6th World 4chan all the time, would they become like the most unstoppable force in the
world? Well, I suppose they would, but that'll never happen because most deckers also don't have magic ability. And besides, we talked about that. The more cyberware you cram in yourself, the less magically active.
I thought you were going to say because 4chan doesn't exist in the 6th world.
What a wonderful world.
There's definitely terrible message boards that exist into the 6th world. I mean,
oh, that would be the true nightmare of the Matrix. Like, imagine 4chan manifested as like a physical space you could go to. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, you think that's bad? Think about visiting one of the Humanist sites.
They're probably on Matrix 4chan. Yeah, they're all
moderators.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ugh.
They call him the moderator.
Now, some magic users that turn toxic can be shaman. And if you are a shaman that turns toxic, your totem becomes toxic. And some of the totems that you have to choose from are pollution, disease, mutation, things like these.
Now, is in regards to toxic magic, is that something that you would have like a natural attunement to as a class of magic, or is it something that you just become corrupted into over time?
It's what you become corrupted into over time.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, especially if you live in some of these highly tainted areas.
Okay, got you.
The next form of dark magic is insect magic. Yay!
Oh no.
Anyone that is from the Chicago containment zone or knows about the Universal Brotherhood could tell you about insect magic. So ultimately, this is people have contacted these complete alien entities from another plane of existence and are agreeing to basically do their bidding. Insect spirits require a metahuman host in order to remain anchored on our plane, and the process of inhabiting the metahuman vessel takes many hours. Thus, the insect shaman will find a secure location to form the, quote, hive, where victims are taken for implantation of the insect spirits. Hives must be found and destroyed at all costs.
So it's just Alien. We're just doing Alien. Is what I'm hearing.
That's what it's like, but it's insect because there are the different types of insect spirits that manifest. There's the ant, the locust, the termite, the wasp, the beetle, the fly, the firefly, the cicada, the mosquito, and the mantid. Oh, and roach. Can't forget roach.
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. The really nasty downside to becoming a host to a insect spirit is that your host body merges with the spirit body.
That's the only downside.
Yeah, forever deforming you into this hybrid meta-human insect. Terribly, terribly awful.
Okay.
I see no downside.
With magic.
Yeah. It's like, imagine being a bug spirit, but also a mage. Like, where's the downside?
I don't know why. I thought of a really cartoony grasshopper casting magic, and it kind of made me happy. And I'm like, wait a minute, no, these are the bad guys. These are the baddies.
Yeah, and
that's such a closed-minded way to look at bug spirits, Tyler. Like,
what? It's a grasshopper, and he's got a little hat.
No, but thinking of all bug spirits as the baddies, that's just
I'm just going off of what I've been told here from the So Easy Truth Network, you know?
Is it though?
Insects are bad.
Oh,
insects are very bad.
There you go, official.
Unless
I'm listening. What's your rebuttal?
What if the insect spirits are
they're just misunderstood.
And the true key to civilization is we just let the insect spirits win.
Wait,
well, that sounds like an insect. That sounds exactly like something an insect supporter would say.
Guys, come into my sticky room. I got something that I want to show you.
Those eggs are way too wet. Way too wet.
God. Come, fellow humans, as it skitters across the
ceiling. You've always wanted to see multifaceted layers, right?
Oh, God.
Haven't you ever wanted your head to turn 360 degrees?
Well, you, sir, are in for a treat.
Haven't you always wanted to vomit up your stomach contents and then suck them back down?
Oh, I hate it. No.
Everybody knows that dinner is better the second time.
I don't want to. I gotta go.
The best description would be if you want a movie reference for insect spirits, just watch The Fly.
That's what I was pulling the most straightforward example out of.
Yeah, that checks out.
You're not wrong. That is exactly how it would work.
I was imagining like either The Fly or The Thing. Like
also good, yes.
Mm-hmm. Any David Cronenberg movie is what I just imagine insect spirits are. Like, granted, The Thing is Carpenter, but any Cronenberg movie, that is what I imagine.
Some body horror.
Being possessed by an insect spirit will do.
Yes, you are not wrong about that.
Okay, cool.
Glad we got insect spirit down.
Are we? That's fair.
Yes, they're good, and we should support them. That's what we came to the realization.
Wow, it's so weird. The guy who was pro ghouls is suddenly pro bug spirits. Skitters suspiciously.
Skitter.
Moves mandibles in a scheming way.
Clicks chitin.
More, no.
Finally, we get to the other form of dark magic, which is the malevolent spirits, also called shadow spirits.
Dope.
Shadow spirits are the classic evil spirits that frequent the stories and legends of so many cultures around the world. You have 5 different types of shadow spirits. You have the muse, which feeds off the emotions of highly creative and expressive people.
That sounds nice.
Well, it sounds nice. The muse can inspire an artist to levels of expression and creativity they may never have achieved alone. This is dangerous temptation that a muse spirit offers, often finding its prey among those who were once highly successful.
Whoa.
The trade-off is that the spirit drains the victim's karma.
Which, in relation to magic, how?
They're feeding off of your talent.
Oh no.
While it may not inherently be fatal, the victim will often become enraptured by the experience of creative expression to the point where they neglect their own basic needs. So
they're creativity vampires.
Yeah, they're creativity vampires. Next is the nightmare. It's a spirit that
it's a horse, right?
That feeds off the terror it causes in its victim.
Because it's a big flaming horse?
No, it's not a big flaming horse.
No.
I know. Disappointment.
Shadowrun sucks.
Everything sucks in Shadowrun.
Most commonly, the nightmare preys upon elderly or children.
Oh, that's just messed up.
Choosing to strike when they are alone and feel most vulnerable. The nightmare feeds off the fear of its victims. It doesn't necessarily intentionally seek to harm, since the dead don't fear.
The dead don't fear. It sounds like a I don't know, weird, cool saying.
Mm-hmm. The nightmare spirit is the quintessential boogeyman, the thing that goes bump in the night.
And it exists.
It exists. It is a type of shadow spirit. Next, we have the Shade. The Shade feeds on misery and depression and despondency. It takes great delight in deepening and prolonging the suffering of its victims, using its abilities to manipulate their emotional state. This usually causes the poor soul to make bad decisions, deepening their sorrow, loss, or loneliness.
No, that's just too real.
Do any of these things have like do they exist as just like creatures, or do they have like conscious thoughts and like ability?
Oh, these would have conscious thought and ability because they're spirits.
Because I'm imagining like
they're able to manifest.
I'm imagining like a group of shades that decide to form like an emo band.
Well, that would make sense because the last two, one of them is the succubus and the other is the wraith.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we know what those are going to feed off of.
Spooky energy.
What's the wraith feed off of?
Violence.
Oh, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
The most highly destructive type of shadow spirit, the wraith delights in causing as much death and carnage as possible. So anybody that gets attached to a wraith spirit are usually murderers or psycho killers.
Oh, cool.
Because they just feed off of that carnage.
Murder ghosts.
Yeah, they're murder ghosts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then one of the unique types of spirits that doesn't necessarily fall into shadow or insect or anything like that is the Sheedom spirit.
Real quick, before we do the Sheedom, just for people that may not know, what does a succubus do? So easy.
The succubus thrive and feed off of sexual energy.
That's it. That's all you got for us about
That's it. There you go.
That's
I mean that's what it does. Okay,
you know
where this is going.
Detail.
The succubus uses its power to take on an attractive metahuman form in order to seduce.
And then it sucks your life force out of your butt, Tyler. Is that what you wanted to hear? Is that what you
finally
want?
I can go on. I can
Jesus,
rest.
you fucking weirdo.
At the height of the sexual act, the succubus feeds off the victim's raw lust and passion.
Oh, I'm not even gonna. I can't say anything about that.
Mm-hmm.
The succubus licks your toes as your life force is slowly drained.
Ooh.
Yeah, is that what you wanted?
This
Tyler?
is
Do you feel
this is
better?
a real nightmare.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
this is.
I hope you enjoyed that.
It cares nothing. It cares nothing for bonds or relationships or emotions. Only the release that it's seeking.
Oh, it's seek and
I hate
release.
that you
All
keep
right.
using these. The
The
wording of these is so.
I'm being tactful with my wording. It will use, abuse, and discard people as
oh my god!
as it sees fit to draw energy from more victims.
Just the descriptive language of these is so like on the nose.
Succubus has the ability to take on an almost infinite variety of highly realistic human forms.
I don't like that idea. Highly realistic, not indiscernible from normal humans. So I just imagine the uncanny valley.
Yeah, I was gonna say the uncanny valley of the succubus, right? Like you see a girl at a bar and you're like, wait a minute.
Her eyes are a little too wide.
Is she gonna eat my soul out of my butt, but like non-consensually?
Not in a sexy way.
Yeah, non-consensually. Is that what's gonna happen?
Non-consensual butt sucking is not what we approve of here.
Oh wow.
Butt suck consensually. Put on a t-shirt.
It probably already is a t-shirt.
Hell yeah. Rise up, my butt sucking brethren.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Before this podcast, I wasn't a creepy creepster, and now I'm more live.
We got to shadow spirits, and it all came out.
Oh boy, did it!
You know, I'm starting to think that there was a reason that So Easy wanted to just gloss over the succubus when he was talking about it.
You did this.
I did it for the benefit of the people. Tyler did it for the benefit of talking about butt sucking. Is all I'm gonna say. All right,
rise up,
rise up, my fellow butt suckers. Our time is now.
We must strike while the booty is hot. Good night, everybody. Good night.
And that's magic in the sixth world. Did it?
No. We're
sucking's like Lucky Charms. It's magically delicious.
No, oh my god.
I thought that butt sucking was like the Pringles equivalent, because once you pop, you just can't stop.
I have no words.
Oh man, this is what happens when we gloss over things and it comes back.
I'm just gonna be excited for like after tonight's episode, and So Easy's wife's gonna be like, so what'd you guys talk about on the podcast today?
Nothing. Literally nothing. We talked about nothing.
And I had to cancel the show. So weird. How unfortunate.
We talked about ley lines, as in the lines where you get laid with butt sucking by succubuses as they take your power.
Oh god.
All right. Okay.
Have we got it all out of our systems? Are we good now? Is everybody
not
happy?
even close, but we can continue.
You know, I have this sinking feeling right now that
in a good way.
No, not in a good way. This is totally 100% going to come back in future episodes. I don't know how yet, but mark my words right now. Right now, mark my words. It's going to come around.
Mark them, listeners.
You heard it here, listeners. Somehow, some way, this will be referenced again.
All I'm going to say is that if we do merch, butt sucks consensually should be on a t-shirt.
Put it on a bumper sticker.
You know what? Yes.
Not enough bumper stickers anymore.
We're gonna have so many weird inside jokes that don't make any sense or are otherwise awful out of context.
So many.
That's literally the definition of an inside joke. Like,
but no.
You just described inside jokes.
Hey, I'm the over-explainer here. Captain Obvious, also known as Captain Cozy,
and Captain Eric.
Captain Eric the Dread. Is it Eric with a C or a K? It's both, because I'm evil. That's it. Wow. Wait,
wow.
You inserted an inside joke and an inside joke explanation.
You're welcome, audience.
Next level over here.
Oh, that made sense only to me. But hey, just saying, if you meet someone named Eric with a CK, watch out.
They're probably a bug spirit.
Oh, boo.
Or they're gonna suck your butt. I don't know, man. Live your life. You know, live boss, like Taco Bell says. Live boss.
I really can't. Anyway, on to the next spirit that's It's terrible. It's a Sheetum.
Oh yes,
Oh.
yes.
I know we've
Cheetum.
talked about
I don't
these
even know
before.
him.
Oh, I feel like I'm just gonna keep going. I feel like we definitely talked about this on the show of something to avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we when we talked about the astral originally
Yes,
in the history of the Sixth World stuff, we got into Sheetums a little bit.
Yes, we did. They originally arrived during the Year of the Comet in 2061, of which, don't worry, we'll do a Year of the Comet episode. I promise.
So excited for the Year of the Comet episode.
It'll be pretty grand. Anyway, that is when this spirit first starts to make its worldly debut. A Sheetum is a nasty little spirit, said to look like in the astral. It looks like Blooper from Mario, the squid.
No, that's delightful.
Wait, it's kind of cute.
Yeah, except it has the lovely little habit of wanting to go and inhabit fresh corpses.
Less cute.
And then use those corpses as a car and drive them around.
It just says that as soon as he gets in the car.
Yeah, I like to imagine that it's like as soon as a Sheetum gets in a body, it just starts going
Gotta go fast.
They start hopping on one foot. They're like wheelie.
Their nature and abilities were unknown until they began to take possession of the bodies of the deceased. Just when the rest of the world had taken stock and developed some protections against this, a new type of Sheetum emerged. It's called a Master Sheetum. Whereas previously, Sheetum appeared to be intellectually primitive entities filled with hate and violence, the Master Sheetum exhibited a deep and malicious intelligence. Master Sheetum take possession of the recently deceased, just as all Sheetum, but the Master Sheetum are able to access all of the memories and knowledge of the person whose body they now possess.
Wow, so if a Master Sheetum was to say possess the dead body of like a dragon, that would be bad.
That would be very bad.
Okay, cool.
This, combined with the fact that all Master Sheetum are magicians,
oh shit,
and are able to summon other Sheetum via the astral gateway power, made them incredibly dangerous.
So I imagine that the Master Sheetum look like the normal Sheetum, like the little blooper squids, but they wear like a leather corset, right? That's what makes them the Master Sheetum.
I imagined a top hat.
I imagine that they're probably just slightly bigger, or they have more tendrils.
They're just slightly bigger. I always enjoy the concept of the big bad is the thing that's the other thing but slightly bigger, and like that's what makes it more power. I don't know why, but it always feels like the most cop out like explanation for like how to differentiate something. You're like, well, how do you know that one's in charge? Well, obviously he's 3 inches taller than the rest of them. He must be the leader.
And he's a slightly darker shade of red.
Ooh, slightly darker red, and he's got an eye patch.
Yeah, right? Like
this one has a scar over his eye.
Ooh. So here's fun fact info from Master Sheetum.
I love fun facts.
The scope of their plans was not fully realized until a key leader in the militant New Islamic Jihad was revealed to be a Master Sheetum.
That took a turn I was not expecting you to say. Holy shit.
Whoa.
Conflicts started by the New Islamic Jihad cost thousands of lives, all under the direction of this malevolent entity. Clearly, the Sheetum orchestrated the conflict merely to instigate widespread death, and many fear what other carnage these beings might be planning. It basically just went and was like, hey, we're going to kill a bunch of people so I can summon more of my brethren.
I mean, like, from a purely, like, just observational standpoint, it would kind of make sense that Sheetums would be terrorists. Like, because why would they not? That's exactly what they would want. Like, that, that checks out in a horrible way.
They want to sow destruction and
it did.
And inhabit the bodies of the dead, because who doesn't like zombies?
The rest of us.
The living is the correct answer.
The living. That was my second guess.
Those of us not possessed by Sheetum.
Yes, those of us not possessed by Sheetum.
One of the other nasty habits that we've probably mentioned before is that if you're a mage and you astrally project away from your body, if there's a Sheetum spirit close by, it'll try and steal it. Because your soul ain't there.
So it's like leaving your car unlocked.
Yes.
Okay. Not great.
It's like leaving your car unlocked in New York.
Oh no. Our car.
Yeah, it becomes our car.
Yes.
That's still definitely not the worst thing in existence in the magical, in the Shadowrun world. The absolute worst spirit or entity in existence has to be the horrors.
Oh, spooky.
They have been mistakenly identified before as wraiths because they delight in that physical violence and carnage, and it's what gives them more power. The difference between a horror and a wraith is a wraith will just latch on to an individual to create these things. A horror is capable of causing it on a city-wide scale.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Just one of them.
Oh my god.
In the lore, one of them was supposedly responsible for one of the most massive and violent riots that took place in Spain.
And it was caused by a horror.
Supposedly, people that survived the incident reported seeing a shadowy apparition that just sort of floated in the air above the riot.
Spooky.
Yes, and it's even more spooky when you delve into the back history related to the fall of Earth Dawn was all due to the coming of the horrors.
Oh, so that was like when we say Earth Dawn, is that like the original Earth?
Yeah, that was the
Earth Dawn
first world?
No, Earth Dawn was the fourth world.
Fourth
then
world.
Mundane time that we're experiencing now is the fifth, and then Shadowrun time setting is the sixth.
Yes.
Some people in the know that are still around from the fourth world are worried that the horrors will make their way back to our world to once again wreak havoc and sow destruction and discord.
Oh gosh.
And what could go wrong with that?
Well, you know, just massive loss of life.
Because that was
Extinction
the
level event.
Yeah, basically.
that was the thing with Dunkelzahn, right? Is that he blew himself up in order to go protect the perceived entry point from the
Yes.
from the horrors coming through to our world.
Yeah, he sacrificed himself to create the we talked about it. It was the dragon heart, which was a super powerful magical item, but he had to use blood magic and sacrifice himself in order to fully power it.
Right.
And then that was used to stop the bridge that was being built by a member from As Technology that was using blood magic and the leftover remnants from the aftermath of the Great Ghost Dance, which was considered a blood magic ritual.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because people died. They danced until they
Oh, because
died.
they danced to death. That's fair.
Wow.
That's
It's
fair.
considered a blood magic ritual. And so this guy was attempting to build a bridge to link to the metaplanar area where the horrors are hanging out and allow them access into this world.
That's wild.
And Dunkelzahn sacrificed himself to create that artifact to shut it off and effectively close that bridge site.
It was blood magic for good. Oh, and it's selfless blood magic at that point.
All blood magic is for good. Thank you very much.
Sus.
We and woo.
I'm not so sure about that.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
As Technology would like to talk to you up on one of their pyramids, please.
Let me tell you about my bug spirit agenda.
Oh no. Oh no.
Take your pick of terrible endings to the world, really.
Ain't that the truth?
Via horrors, via insect spirits, via blood magic. There's all kinds of terrible downfalls.
All a bad time.
Yeah. Well, also, if you think about it...
It's all a matter of perspective.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. If you're from my perspective and you look through my 8 bug eyes...
Oh,
I can see clear that the world was intended to be ruled by the bug spirits.
Oh, no.
Perhaps you'd like to see my hives?
Oh, no. Yee.
Once again, please join me in my wet room.
Once again, these walls are way too wet.
No. We had a good run.
We did. But like I was saying, if you think back to some of the myths that we even have today, like the ending of days or Ragnarok or something like that, those myths could have originated from the fourth world when the horrors had arrived.
That makes sense.
Only the dragons and immortal elves could tell us for true.
But if we have destruction myths, I mean, then that would have to also lend credence that somewhere out there is creation myths that could also be attached back to magic in some way.
Also true, yeah.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically speaking, these are all big brain moves that we're having here. To
I like to think that the giant space cosmic space turtle is also just a astral entity here for our protection.
Who knows? It very well could be giant space turtle.
Awakened space turtle.
Awakened space turtle.
The century turtle.
Ooh. Now, is it century or century?
Century. Yeah. It's the century ferret.
Mm-hmm.
I have been calling it the century ferret in my head, thinking it's like the century,
like it's standing guard.
The world.
Oh, like that kind of century.
Century.
Oh, yeah, I could see how.
See, I didn't go to magic school,
there.
so
You should have got that scholarship ride to MIT and T.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying for next season.
He's also not a magical cryptozoologist either.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not with that attitude.
Wait a minute. Cryptid hunter.
No, stop it. No.
Templeton Pick?
No.
Templeton Pick!
Get him out of
Cryptid
here.
hunter. Yeah, I'm after your job, friendship.
Oh.
Coming for you.
If you had to choose to have magical ability, are you going the mage route, the shaman route, or the adept route?
Well, being a magician in general in the sixth world seems like a nightmare, so I would like to choose none of the above. But if I had to pick one, I think shamans are pretty chill, all things considered. Like, it kind of seems like as well that, like, of all of the different types of mages, Megacorps seem, unless I'm misunderstanding, it seems like Megacorps are like the least interested in shamans. So I feel like you would have like probably the chillest life of a magic user as being a shaman.
I mean, you're dealing with a sentient being as well that might, I don't know, be telling you to do horrible things, or
yeah, you just ignore it.
Okay,
you can't ignore your totem forever, and then you get cut off from your magic.
Yeah, but then look, if the options are like cause horrible irreparable damage or be cut off from magic, you could just be cut off from magic. That's whatever.
I don't know. At that point, if you're growing up and learning it and everything, would it be like being cut off from your sight or smell? It's like you're losing a whole sense.
Whoa, dude. I mean, you're right, but whoa.
I guess that's true. I don't know.
Big thonk right there.
I think that another problem with this question for me is that I've never been interested in being a magic user in like anything.
Really?
Yeah, like the conceit of it's one of those things where it's like when I watched Naruto, I was like, the best character is Rock Lee, because he just beats the shit out of everybody.
That's just true in general.
It is. He's the true protagonist of Naruto. Everybody knows this. He really is. But it's like that's always kind of been my thought process on these types of things. Is it's like I've always had more of a reverence for big beatstick characters in general.
Hell yeah, brother.
So like the concept of being a magic user is something that's just never held that high of the appeal to me. That I'm like, I'm the guy that would be like, well, I guess if I'm a shaman and my choice is go kill a bunch of people to appease my guardian spirit or just lose magic, I guess I'll just lose magic. Like that's just
but magic could be like so integral to you and your existence.
True, and again I agree. But as somebody who never has that much interest in magic in the first place,
yeah, that's fair.
I guess realistically, in this conceit, I'd rather be an adept.
Yeah,
because I'd rather just be able to go be a big beatstick. Like
yeah.
Now I did come up with a question that I want to pose here.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're an adept, so the conceit of being an adept is that you're allowed is that you use your magical ability in order to augment your physical properties, right?
Yeah, in general, yes.
In general. So, like, if you were an adept, would it be possible that you would ever actually be constipated? Because couldn't you just magically infuse, like, your stomach muscle to just never have to be concerned about that?
That's a really weird, random question, but I'm gonna go with no, that would never be a concern because you could just constrict your stomach muscles using magic and be able to
So,
poop whenever you wanted, I guess.
being an adept is the best choice, is what I'm hearing, and I'm going with adept. I've changed my mind. I'm going with adept.
Okay, going with
Yep.
adept. Specifically for just that reason. I
For
love
the
it.
ability to poop on command, I want to be an adept.
Fantastic.
Wow, this is now how I thought this was gonna wrap up.
Woo!
You gotta give them what they don't expect. You know, you gotta hit them with that.
Yeah,
Slap them in the face with your rock hard misdirection, right?
Word?
Wow.
Word.
For me, I like the idea, similarly to Austin, of having characters who are fairly mundane in a world that's like filled with magic. But yeah, the physical adept for me is very interesting because I think I've mentioned this before. Like, Alex Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite anime character ever, and that's partly because he punches things and then has magic punching. Is, I vibe with that, and just the idea of doing superhuman-esque feats seems pretty cool. Much to the concern I brought up to Austin, I would be worried about having a spirit that's like, you should just, like, I don't know, set this place on fire or something,
I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast fireball.
Yeah, right.
That's the gist I'm getting here.
Yeah, no, you're very accurate.
Okay, that's fair. I would probably be an adept as well.
Let's go.
They're just the best. Like, there's no downside.
Well, I don't have to conjure anything. I don't have to worry about drain and passing out from trying to cast powerful magical spells.
Yeah.
Quick question.
I could potentially run across water. I mean, come on.
Yes.
When you're channeling the magical power as an adept, or I guess just in a general sense, do adepts ever have to enter the astral for anything, or do they only exist in the material?
So adepts actually cannot astrally project like mages and shamans.
So you don't ever have to worry about Shidas either. So it's like it's all benefit. It's literally just all benefit to be an adept.
Well, yes and no. I mean, you lose out on being able to travel willingly into the astral to do astral quests or travel the metaplanes because you can't do it without assistance.
I gotta be honest, Easy. Everything that you've told me about the astral so far, that place seems like a nightmare. So I never want to go into the astral. That place seems like an absolute nightmare.
Well, I mean, you get to move at the speed of thought, so that's pretty impressive.
Cool.
The astral is definitely
sense. Like
the astral is seen as like a hazy gray area,
that
almost like a purgatory type thing.
It sounds like a nightmare. You're just describing nightmares.
You see people as spots of light.
So I get to go into the astral so I can travel to France and not drink a cup of French coffee at a cafe. Like, what the fuck's the benefit of going into the astral?
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't interact with
this all sounds
world.
like a nightmare. Adepts are the best.
Coffee.
So what if I can't cast fireball? I get to poop on command. Adepts are the best.
Okay. One final, like, weird question for me, at least.
Yeah.
If we were to have a mundane job, but it's magically enriched, what would be your magic mundane job? So, like, magic plumber, magic.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And, listeners, you comment somewhere, wherever you can comment.
Come to the Discord. Comment. Let us know what your magical mundane job would be.
Leave a 5-star review on Spotify,
Listen
iTunes,
to this guy.
Other listening platforms. I'm a shill among the shills, my friends. And you too can tell us what kind of magical mundane job you would be. I think that I'd like to be a magic game store owner. I just have.
What does that have to do with Why magic? Why?
The idea is it's a mundane job that you could add some spice to with magic.
Yeah, I assumed that the idea was that it was a mundane job that would be enhanced by magical ability.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So how do you enhance owning a game store by
because I
magic?
use telekinesis to organize all my trading cards.
Boo. All right,
Your
Easy,
imagination is limited.
Boo. Easy, what's yours? Because I've got a really good one, but I want you to go next.
Oh, you want me to go next? Okay.
Wow.
Mine.
Unless you want me to go next. You let me know.
You go ahead. I want to hear what this.
Tyler doesn't get to go again. Tyler already fucked up his answer. All right, so mine. All right, so mine is that I would want to be an adept and a mailman. Because you get to physically enhance your movement in order to deliver the mail super fast. So you work a quarter of the day that you would normally have to work. You would still get the full payment because mailmen get salaries and don't work hourly. And you would get federal government benefits and retirement packages. So, physical adept mailman. That's the best answer. Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's found the loophole. Physical adept mailman.
I magically ran so he could magically run.
You mundanely walked so I could magically run.
Absolutely, yes. See, I can't even quote myself. So fucking stupid. Magically stupid. There we go.
Okay. You know what? I would go with garbage man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because think about it. Not if I was an adept, but garbage man, right?
Yes.
But you're a shaman, so you summon city spirits to collect the trash themselves. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
They go and get the trash and take it to where it needs to go. Boom.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
I was thinking even more so, like, if you're a normal mage and you just, like, drive, like, a flatbed truck and you cast, like, magic fire, and then you just throw the garbage in and just burn it all.
No! The magic ozone!
What about the magic ozone? Okay, but if it's magical fire, there'd be no pollution, Tyler. There'd be no burning runoff, Tyler. It would be free. There would be no magical ozone damage.
You don't know that.
I do, because magic doesn't affect the ozone layer. Otherwise, the sixth world would be fucked by now.
It literally affects space.
Think about how the magical ozone would be affected anytime that a mana storm happened and it rained fire. That would just be a permanent hole in the magical ozone. Because we're talking about the same, we're talking about heat gets through burn off. Like, that would do the same thing. It would be burning at a rate that would burn through the magical ozone layer. Which doesn't exist.
Listeners, if you're a magical meteorologist, you get back to us.
So easy does the magical ozone layer exist?
There's no definitive answer on whether there's a magical ozone layer. There's a biosphere, but that's it.
Boom.
And the biosphere is used to delineate where mana is and is not.
Magically burn the trash. That's all I'm saying. There's no downside. There's literally no negative to this. Tyler, now that you've seen what two good answers look like, do you want to give us a different answer?
Slander, sir. Absolute bedlam right now. I have been attacked.
Throwing you under the bus.
I would also like to throw out there that I think that another good one would be if you're a standard, like a normal mage. Mm-hmm. Who has like access to like magic finger and like telekinetic based abilities. Stripper.
Oh wow.
I think magic stripper would also be a very entertaining job.
I was gonna say that I'd like to be a magic.
It's like a sexy Siegfried and Roy.
Coming soon to SimSense near you, extra magical mics.
Oh my god. I'm retiring.
Oh,
I didn't even answer, and then you guys two-upped me somehow.
What you got? No, Tyler, come up.
I'm gonna say I want to be a magical cook if I could do that, because I'd like to.
You know what? That's respectable. I can get behind that.
Yeah, I also want to summon a pasta elemental, but besides that,
all right. Now, what if you were
the true like spaghetti monster?
I was gonna say, what if you're a shaman and your spirit is the flying spaghetti monster, and that you are a pasta chef exclusively.
When you had mentioned belief systems, I immediately wanted to ask, like, the flying spaghetti monster.
How are Pastafarians represented within the magical community of the sixth
represented?
I mean, if you legitimately get enough people to believe in it, I assume that you would create an avatar. So just get enough people to believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to leave a comment talking about our Lord and Pasta Saviors, so that we may one day get Pastafarian elementals. Thank you.
Yes. Comment under the YouTube video for this episode. Long reign the flying spaghetti monster, and one day we will manifest.
Wow.
Yes. Meatball fireballs. Just
meatball
all the
fireball.
Think about it.
Yeah, I am. It's clearly right here in my mind. I can't not think about it now.
You're welcome.
Is that all? Is that all you got, you guys?
I forgot that we were talking about magic. Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? That's what we were talking about. Now flying spaghetti monsters and
always
meatball fireballs.
We're manifesting.
Yes.
So we're manifesting.
Yes.
Tyler has the flying spaghetti monster on his vision board.
Gather the people together. We're creating a new cult.
If you meatball, he will come. That is our.
Yep.
That is our.
That's what my business says.
That is our
meatball, and I will come.
Get in, losers. We're creating a cult. Well, that was the foray into magic into the sixth world. We definitely learned some interesting things and came up with some radical ideas.
Magical storm chasers, adepts being able to poop at will.
We will probably come back to magical storm chasers when we go and start talking about different places around the world, especially Australia.
And then there's also magic.
All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this long. I hope you have enjoyed learning about magic as much as we have enjoyed coming up with some radical ideas for it. We will catch you in the next episode. Good night, everybody.
The Topps Company Inc. has sole ownership of the names, logo, artwork, marks, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary materials used in connection with the game Shadowrun. The Topps Company Inc. has granted permission to Critical Hits to use such names, logos, artwork, photographs, sound, audio, video, and or any proprietary materials for promotional and informational purposes on its website, but does not endorse and is not affiliated with Critical Hits in any official capacity whatsoever.